Well, then why don't we just
Yes.
go ahead and jump into it?
Sure thing.
No sense waiting. Were there any public comment or any emails about any public comments that we know of?
Nope, none that we know of. So let's just go ahead and jump into our first order then, which is to approve the last round of meeting minutes from May 8th.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 8th minutes.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to hand it over to Chris now, who's going to give us an update on construction progress and schedule.
Right. Thanks, Josh. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know when you can see that.
We
You're
can,
up.
Excellent. So typical,
Hey, time out. Can you guys hear me?
yes.
yes.
Hey, Josh, and so this is a minor, but Mark chairs the meeting, so let him go through the agenda and do the handing over and the motions and all that.
I appreciate that, but Josh is up on all the rest of these. Thank you, though.
Okay. So standard categories, RFI submittal reviews, these are kind of winding down at this point. Contractors looking to complete the school in the next several weeks. So we're continuing to work with them on getting things closed up. Cost control, again, just tying up some loose ends, making sure all work is warranted, and the associated costs are basically very much in line with the work that's being done. We continue to do our construction compliance reviews and reports. So, as I typically mention, I'm there on site every Tuesday and then once or twice otherwise to meet with the contractor, go over any questions, um, take a look at workmanship, etc. So, pleased to report that the quality of the workmanship that's going into the school is very good. We've had no issues to date with the work, and it continues to proceed accordingly. Some of the construction activities that have been taking place. Um, so the site contractor's back. They have been installing curb. They're placing loom in planter areas. One of the pictures I'll be sharing with you shows that we're starting to bring plants into the courtyard and start that planting process. They are starting to take up the old parking area that comes in. Um, and forgive me, I forget the drive. Um, but they're getting ready to replace that. The trailers have been removed from the site. We are currently set up in the school itself uh, with temp offices. Doors are being hung on classrooms and other locations. Um, Flooring has been installed in the classrooms. It has been waxed. They have started the cleaning process. Ceilings have been populated in classrooms. The light fixture is in place, and as you'll see in some of the pictures, power is on, so they're firing up the electric for the project, energizing systems, etc. The generator has been installed, transformers being installed. Um, all the panels. They're installing or have installed the wood gym floor. They're getting ready to paint the lines. They're installing the acoustical wall panels in the gym. The climbing wall has been installed as of today. I was there today and noticed that. I was unable to get the picture. Ceiling in the cafeteria, along with light fixtures, is being installed, along with the wood paneling around the stage opening. The stage floor has been installed, and they're continuing to work that finish area. Wall tile lockers in the corridors are complete. They're going back and doing touch-up painting in classrooms and corridors. One of the last activities that'll take place in the next few weeks will be the flooring in the corridors because there's still a lot of activity that's coming through. And as they continue to clean up and kind of work their way out, that'll take place. Ceilings continue to be installed throughout as well. Work in the dingle continues with the concrete stairs and sidewalks. The initial paving coat, the binder course, has been put down on the access drive. They are also stockpiling loom and getting ready to spread loom in that area. So a lot of things going on all over the site. There's still roughly 80 to 100 workers on site, depending on the day and the activities. Um, we're looking for our final roof inspection next Monday with the manufacturer and our roofing consultant. So I was up on the roof Tuesday and everything was looking good. It's clean. Um, Everything's in place. So good progress throughout. As would be expected at this stage of the project, a lot of things are happening on the finish side, tidying up, putting in the finish plates on electrical devices, etc. Um, I believe about 95% of the casework has been installed, counters, sinks, all that work's ongoing. So really, really impressive if when you walk through and think that a year ago, we were just getting ready to stand still. With FF&E tech activities, Jamie's been very helpful in helping to procure and send out the POs. So we are in the process of starting our delivery process for furniture. Will be the July 7th through the 11th. With the vendors, the school department will bringing over their furniture that they've been moving from other locations and storage. We will also be getting our loose equipment deliveries after the 1st of July. So that activity is continuing to take place. And then technology POs are going out as well with deliveries to follow the furniture and equipment. So we anticipate having all our deliveries done by mid to late July. They'll be set up, tested, proven, and then training will start taking place on systems, et cetera, end of July into the beginning of August in preparation for school to come back and get going. Some of the pictures I'll share. So you can see a typical classroom. The ceilings are in, the lights are on. The floor has been, and the floor in this room is actually, I won't say it's perfect. It's a little dirty, but it's been waxed, so it looks very clean. Everything's in place. The last piece of the puzzle is they have to put in the vinyl base and do their final cleaning. So progressing along very nicely. The casework is in. We'll be ready to do our punch list, where I will go in with my team and we will inspect every inch of the building, open every door, cabinet, locker, turn on every faucet, every light switch, etc., just to make sure that everything is working and in order. We'll make sure if there's any areas of paint touch up or if there's any little damage that we need to have repaired, that'll get done by the contractor prior to school opening. This was a view as of Tuesday. You can see there's still a lot of activity going on, but the ceiling and the lights have been hung and the ceiling continues to be populated. The wood paneling around the stage is ongoing. The areas where we have plain block on the walls, that's the areas where we are going to be putting up acoustical wall panels. That's currently taking place in the gym, and then that will follow up in the cafeteria, but they're still kind of working in the space. The gym floor is down. It has been sealed. Um, so right now, this was taken Tuesday as well. I was there today. On that far wall in the middle is where the 16-foot climbing wall is located. That's been installed. And in a subsequent picture I took today, you'll see how the acoustical panels are starting to go up. Once everything has been put up on the walls and this space has been cleaned out, let me go back. Then they'll add the striping to the court. So we have main court striping, we have volleyball main court, and they have some side court striping. And then the floor will be urethane, completely sealed with a nice gloss finish. So it'll really have a nice finish, brightens up the space, and be very nice. The acoustical wall panels are starting to go up. This is in the gymnasium, so a little colors added to help brighten up and add some color to the space as well. Once this is done and as they've moved out, they'll be putting in the crash pads and the bleachers, which I believe are coming next week. So again, continuing to make progress throughout the spaces. The courtyard, they started to pour the concrete patio all the way at the end. You can see the sides have been filled with loam, and they're in progress of planting the shrubs. So that's all come in by this time, end of next week, I should say. The rest of the courtyard concrete should be poured, clean, the planting's done, and then they can close this up and work their way out. So it'll be a very nice space. They'll be bringing in the benches next, fastening those, and a great space for students and staff to use for just outdoor learning, quiet space, reading, any type of activities that may take place during the school year. Questions on our progress or any of the activities that have taken place, Mark?
Yeah, on the agenda, it says that you're going to provide info on energy code implications and window testing. I'm not really sure what
Sure.
implications there were.
Yep. So, uh, with regards to the code testing, one of the new tests, and the Peck School is one of the first in the state to be permitted under the new energy code, and we're probably one of the first, if not the first, to go through this final testing. We are required once the building is completed to do a full air blower test, which means they're going to close up all the vents, they're going to prepare everything, and seal the building, and they're going to pressurize it, and they're going to measure the loss of pressure. And by doing that, we need to meet a certain level of loss. We can't go above that in order to get our final C of O. So we've done some preliminary testing, Mark, and the results were very positive. The testing agent that we worked with during design is also doing the final testing. They did not see any major hiccups in getting this to pass with the approved pressure loss, if you will. So that's kind of where that stands.
Oh, okay. I thought there
And
was
then
something
with
else going on the way it was written in the agenda.
yeah, no, it's a very new requirement, quite frankly. Um, so we're in pretty good shape at this point. If our pressure loss is slightly higher, then we'll work with the contractor to remediate that, make sure that they've sealed up any minor issues, et cetera, and go through that. We've been working with the building department. They're aware of this test and explaining what we're going to be doing and how we're getting ready for them to issue a certificate of occupancy in the next several weeks. So making them aware of the requirement. And the building commissioner, Leslie, has been very good to work with. Um, a real asset to the city, in my opinion, understands the requirements and is providing some guidance and of that kind as to what she's going to be looking for. So all good.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
you're welcome. With regards to the windows, so as we mentioned, I believe at the last meeting, we're required to do an air and water test on the windows, and it's a random test. We typically pick two windows for every 25% that are installed and work through that. And it's not out of the ordinary to have a window test fail, at which time the contractor comes in, they review how it's failed, they do some remedial work, maybe there's a seal that isn't quite right on the operable sash, or there's a little pinhole in the sealant, etc. So we've kind of worked with the contractor Pella to make sure that over the course of the project, they've done all the remedial work they've needed to do, and then we've retested. And as of today, um, the last two windows we were testing, both had failed. They identified the issue. Pella will come back with the contractor and repair those. We'll have them retested. Now, as part of this testing, where we've had I would say a little bit more failures than what would be normal. But again, they've all been repaired and remediated. We've been talking with Fontaine Brothers and Pella and the installer we're looking to provide the district and the city with some assurance that this is not going to be a problem. So Fontaine got together with their subs, and what would normally be a 1 year workmanship warranty, they're going to provide the city with a 10-year workmanship warranty. And this goes alongside with the 20-year window warranty. So they'll come out on an annual basis, inspect the windows, make sure that there's not any issues, there's no leaks. Sean, as part of the school department, if he does see any issues, we'll be able to call Pella and Fontaine and say, look, I've got a window here, I've got an issue, there's a leak or this is a problem, and then they'll come out and take care of that.
That's
So yeah, we're meeting with them. They're putting together their letter of warranty for this work. So we'll be reviewing that with the OPM team and Sean and everybody else, and then that'll go into the file for the future.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
Yeah, Chris?
Yep.
Yeah, you pretty much answered my question already, but as far as the remediation of the windows, is there any extra cost to the city for that?
There is not. So that's a good question, Dave. Basically, when we started identifying these issues, um, you know, we just couldn't understand what the problem was. So the Western Mass president of the Pell office out in Western Mass came out with his team and brought some people from the Iowa manufacturing plant and installation, and they reviewed it. They identified the issues. They came out, it was probably a month or two ago. They spent several days to take care of all the issues at each and every window. So they identified that, there might have been a sealant location that wasn't applied prior to the install. So what they did was the windows were already installed. They came out, removed the trims, and performed the sealant install accordingly at every window. So they made sure it was all done per Pella's requirements. So yeah, no additional cost for this work to the city.
Oh, great, thank you. And I see Kathy, I think, was having trouble with her audio. She put a question in the chat.
Uh, let's check the chat. Uh, is there any other part of the construction that has any guarantee beyond the windows? So, Anthony, I'm assuming you're talking about the entire building. Um, is that true?
I would think so.
That was Kathy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Um, So, uh, yeah, the building, all of the products that go into the building have specified warranties based on the manufacturer and the product. Windows, doors, equipment, casework, everything, right down to the paint. And then we typically, as part of public work, the workmanship is a 1 year warranty. So if the product fails, you're warranted for whatever that might be. Let's say it's the roof, then you've got 25-year for the products. If the workmanship is deemed to be inadequate within the first year, then obviously they come out and repair it. If it's a deficiency, as an example, I'm sure everybody here may have experienced in their personal life, um, yeah, they bought something or something's been installed, and for lack of better terms, it's a lemon. There's a defect, if you will. Then that would be covered on both product and labor to get that fixed. So we've got the standard public work warranties on all products and workmanship. Hopefully that answers the question. You're welcome. Anything else?
I just had another quick question, Chris. Are there any items in the facility that requires like a special annual maintenance agreement? That the city should look to get into place as we're getting into this?
Yeah, Mark. So annual maintenance agreements, a lot of times that is going to be dependent on the city on how they want to work it. For example, and I'm sure Sean could speak to this on his other schools, but um, the the project will be provided with O&M manuals, operation and maintenance manuals that tells the school department what has to be maintained and when. For example, you're changing your filters in your HVAC units every 3 months, whatever that might be. Some districts will have their own maintenance people to do certain work. And when it comes to additional things, um, whether it be recommended manufacturer warranty, they may enter into service contracts. That's dependent on the owner and the particular thing. Some of Some technology items may have annual licenses and maintenance requirements. That would all be in the operation and maintenance manuals. That's what's required. It's also, once we get to the end of this project, we are going to be providing Sean and the owner with the appropriate training for the systems. And those are some of the things that can be discussed as well. Sean and his staff can talk to, maybe it's the people that installed the heating pumps or the water heater. Okay, this is how we operate it. What's required for regular maintenance? And is there any annual required maintenance that we need to go to the manufacturer for? So all that kind of gets worked out and discussed as part of that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't
Anything else?
see any other hands up. I think you covered the next three items. I think we're at leadership talking points with Josh.
All right, give me just a moment here to pull this up.
Yeah, I mean, I could speak to this as well. We, as we get closer to the end of the project, we wanted to make sure everybody on the building committee had some really good talking points. I'm sure when people find out that you're on the building committee, they have questions. So we've put together a list of just talking points so we're all calibrated and saying the same thing. So it's really just a resource for all of you. If you've ever find yourself in conversation with folks and they have questions, we tried to think of some commonly asked questions about the project, like when will we open, how many kids, how much did it cost, what's the city's share, how much is reimbursable by the state, things of that nature. So we just wanted to make sure we shared this resource with you, and hopefully it's helpful to make sure that we got the same message going in conversation with folks.
Thanks, Anthony. Anybody have any questions on that? I don't see any. I guess, Josh, if you can go over, review the next steps.
Sure thing. So our upcoming meetings are scheduled for, as always, the second Thursday of every month. Those being July 10th, August 14th, September 11th, and October 9th. Our ribbon cutting is scheduled for August 14th at 2 p.m. with a rain date of August 15th at 10 a.m. That takes us to the end of this section here. So Mark, I'll hand it over to you again.
Yeah, just real quick on how many, I'm sure other members are wondering, how long after the building is open do we continue to meet? Like when are we up or free to go?
So, Josh, I can field that if you'd like. Typically, the building committee will continue to meet until the project's completely closed out, which could be a year or so, right? We've gone through our MSBA will have the commissioning agent come back in 10 months after the building's been in operation. They will check to make sure things continue to operate as they were designed and installed. They will have questions for staff and Sean, come in and say, okay, is your building maintaining temperatures? Is it comfortable? You're seeing any issues, that type of thing. As over the next year, MSBA is going to continue to go through all of the, change orders that were submitted, all the documents, paperwork, to make sure that everything gets closed out on their end. We've got the Northeast chip submission that we're working on. But my experience has been, and then you may have some lingering, some minor things to discuss, but my experience has been, it then becomes not necessarily a monthly thing. Maybe it's every other month. It really will depend on this committee and, what items may need to be discussed.
Okay, I appreciate that. Josh, I don't know if there's possible topics for next meeting. That's something you're looking for direction on, or there's
Not at this time, not from us at least.
all right. So I guess we're at the end. Unless anybody else has any comments, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Any second?
I can second that emotion.
All right, motion
It's
made and
Jessica.
seconded to adjourn. All in favor? looks like it's overwhelmingly in favor. So have a great night, everybody. Appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing this thing. Thanks for the pictures, Chris. They were great.
You're very welcome, Mark.